This young girl kept from sight, crying into the middle of the night. She fears that others will sense the shame. But was this girl really to blame? This little girl, who was full of belief, could not from him seem to find relief.
Unforgivable. Sad.
Painful.
Invisible.
A crime.
Devastating.
Terrifying.
I think it's horrible.
It's real.
Forever.
I believe that child abuse is defined as anything that endangers the welfare of a children in any specific situation. The difference between disciplining a child and child abuse, I find, is a very fine line, especially in relation to the multicultural aspect of our country and our city. We're one of the most multicultural cities in the world, and how cultures define child abuse or discipline or child rearing is varied and interesting and complex. It has to be both a personal choice as well as a choice of protection of the child by the state. The difference between the two and where that line is drawn is something for the courts to decide, or something for a judge to decide.
What happened was a child had gone into the washroom of the school, and she was very distraught. And one of the teachers noticed her going into the washroom, and she knew this student very well because she had taught her and knew that something was wrong. You know, she was crying and just was not herself. So she's not herself. So I immediately went down and went into the washroom, and I could tell that something was seriously wrong. She had a friend with her. The girl that was sexually assaulted could not say very much at the time, and she was too distraught. The friend whispered to me, "Miss, I think that she was raped." What happened was Ms. Brewer immediately called the police, which you have to because this is a serious crime. The police and took a report of what happened with myself and the student, the kinds of questions that I asked her. For example, she could not speak, but when I said to her, "Did somebody rape you?" she nodded yes with her head. So I took my report, the police took the report from me as well, and I was subpoenaed to court to be a witness in court on behalf of the student.
When a child is being abused?
That the parent or someone else overly spanks a child.
And do you think that's right?
No.
What would you do if one of your friends told you that they were being abused?
I'll call the police.
And if you could, how would you stop people from forever hitting their children?
I'll start a legal campaign.
I think child abuse is wrong, and it's very hard to monitor because you really have to have people outside the home that are paying attention to the child to notice the signs of the abuse. And it's hard because children are they're the biggest victims, right? Because how can